Welcome everybody to Monday Mixology. Today we're going to be talking about percussion, mixing. To start things off, we're just going to open up FL Studio. Today's focus is mainly going to be percussion, drums, hi-hats, stuff like that. I think it's this one. Alright, here we go. So, this is going to be the basics of mixing drums. So we have this general song here. Now we're going to mix this down to industry standards, get it ready for mastering. So let me pull up something on my phone here. It's a little chart that I have. Alright, so the industry standard for drums is as follows. So this is the industry standard for mixing your drums. So what we're going to do to start off with is we've already got everything organized and colored and named. And as you can see, all of them are routed to the master track. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to open insert, and we're going to rename and recolor it, and we're going to call it the master drums. And since all my drums are red, I like to do the master as a light red. That way it looks similar. And then we just want to route all the drums there. Alright. Now just to test it. So now you can see everything's coming through here. So if I mute it, there's no drums. What we're going to do from this point is go ahead and get everything mixed down. So now we can follow this. We got the 808. It's at around, you want it around -6. So it's -12 plus with our compression on the master. That's probably, that's peaking at around -3. So we can bring that down just a little bit. There we go, that's about -6. So I got -6. I don't need any variance in this one. So next up will be our snare. So we have a snare right here. So let's get to the main part of the song. Now your snare industry standard is -3. So if we look at the master, it's at -6 right now. And it's still pretty loud, so I'm going to cut some of the frequencies because that's a sharp ass. There we go. It's like -9. So we can bring that up if we want to. That's about -3. We'll still bring it down a little though. There we go. That's like -5. So snare, -3 around -5. This is a general guideline. You don't have to follow exactly this. Hats will do -10. So we have two different hi-hats. So we'll start with this one. It's just a little low. Almost there. A little too much. There we go. Okay, now let's do the same with this one. Okay, again a little bit harsh. There we go. Alright. And we want -10, so this one can be brought up quite a bit. And we're just keeping an eye on the master here. Looks like -12. That's a little much. Let's do 12. 12 works. Alright, our main melody needs to be -9, so we have that right here. But before we get to that, let's do the kick. Should be at 0. It's just a little bit too high. Okay. There we go. With compression and everything, that's hitting right at about 0. This snare is a filler snare, so we'll put it at -4. Actually, I think that should work. Yeah, with the filler snares and everything, it's hitting around -3, -4. So that should be perfect. Did I get the rim? We'll do that as a filler snare, since it's pretty high. And we'll do it to -4. Actually, we'll do it to -14 as a filler. So that's 15. Give it a little bump. There we go, just under 15. So we got the hi-hats. Did we get the shaker? This is going to go under additional. Oh, that's perfect. We're going to leave that just where it is. Alright, now we need to go ahead and do the main melody, which I have just as a sample. It needs to be -9, so... Go a little higher. Alright, that's hitting at about 10-9 now. So now this is just the industry standard for your basics. Now your bass is always going to be different. The bass is going to be dependent upon which frequencies your drums are using, as well as which frequencies your main melody is using. Generally want it to be around the same volume as the main melody though, but not overpowering the 808. In this instance, it's overpowering the 808 a little bit, but we're going to fix that right now with some EQing. There we go. So if we take this one and this one, so it's hitting, the 808's hitting around the sub and the low bass line, and then now I have the bass hitting around low mid to high mid. We'll change that to about mids. There, so now they're not overlapping each other. And on the kick too, we want to cut off any of the highs. Anything from high mid back is fine. Now, the master drum track, you want to put a compressor, and I usually do like 1.3 to 1, bring it down to like -30, and just bump the gain to around 5. And we don't have a limiter on, no limiter. And we're peaking it around 2 to 1 decibels, which is what I like to do. I like to mix around 2 to 1, get that loudness going on. Nothing's fighting for room. Everything is equal in the mix. So now that we have that mix, let's fuck around a little with the song. so I just added a little variance to the percussions here. These are the hi-hats. So I did the pan. This is hard left, this is hard right. So I've done every third one. I've done halfway to the right, but mostly to the left, and then the first two are hard left, and then on the right hand side panning I've done every other one. So that way it gives us some variance, you get some bounce and some hop to it. It sounds like someone's actually playing it rather than, you know, just samples you've picked out from a pack. I changed the velocity as well. On some of them you can just drop it out, you know, give it a little bit lower, and on some of them just, you know, randomly do a little higher. Just give it some variance. You know, just a little bit of love. And there you go. Now your hi-hats, your boring sounding hi-hats, are now sounding real distinct, crisp, different, unique. You throw that in the mix, and they're all over. It's sometimes right, it's sometimes left. Alright, so now with the compressor on the master, really what I'm doing here is just trying to get each frequency range. There's 3 frequency ranges, low, mid, and high. I'm trying to get them each boosted out to the right level so everything is not fighting and it sounds good and crisp and clear. So I have them all set to active, which is the A. So, with the right threshold and ratio, I've been able to get the bass pretty much to where it's almost always going high in the volume range, but not peaking. Let's turn it down just a little more. There we go. Now the mids, I put it 2.5 with a ratio of 1.2, 1.3. I think I'm gonna go 1.4 actually. And you can see the mids are the light pink one. Bring that threshold down. Oh, a little too much. You can see it's a little higher now than the bass, so we just want to bring that back. It's about, let's say, I think 20 is a good, negative 20 is a good point. There we go. Now same thing for the highs, just bring the threshold back. If it starts to sound crunchy, turn the gain down. Let's do like 6 dB as gain on the highs. And we'll do like negative 10 on the threshold. We'll get a real tight threshold, 1.5. There we go. Now our master's peaking at like just under negative 3. We've done a quick mix and master. And this song's now ready for SoundCloud. Now when you want to send it off to get professionally mastered, you just go to your master track, turn off your compressor, send them each, like stem it out. And then they'll do their own compression. So you go from this to something kind of like this. You hear how there's a distinct, very distinct difference? Everything here is the same volume. It's peaking at around the same, decibels. So it's all the same volume. It's just with the compression, you're able to really bring out and crunch each frequency to bring out the best part of whatever is playing in that frequency. So when you compare this, basic beat with the compressed mastered version, much more full. The bass is out there without taking up too much of the low end room. And we mix to the general, this is the general industry standard for mixing drums. And we're just going to do a quick mix check. Just upload it, go to the song, listen to it with the same headphones that you made the song on. So we want to give it a quick listen. Alright, there we go. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. That's basically going to be the first edition of Mixology Mondays, is what I think I'm going to call it. So thank you for coming. It's been a solid hour stream. I really appreciate it. We'll do this again next Monday. More mixing lessons. This time, I think next Monday we're going to do main melodies and melody mixing in general, and getting a general idea of how your melodies should be mixed down so that way they're ready for master. I appreciate everyone who stopped by. I appreciate all the follows. Thank you very much, and you guys have a fantastic day.